Look into my eyes and show me adventures I haven't seen. Taking all the life, it hits the spot. Walking on fantasy. So take me, baby, take me to a state of mind.
What's up, guys? I'm Kevin Nahai. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. And as you can see, the title of today's episode is Why I Hate the Word Needy. Now, really what I mean, by the way, I also hate the word clingy, but really what I mean by this title is I want to talk about removing the stigma, the blame, and the shame around having emotional needs. And I want to draw a very important distinction between being quote-unquote needy or clingy and, just like any normal human being, having emotional needs. We live today in a culture and in a society, especially in metropolitan cities, and especially with the advent of dating apps, where the way to be quote-unquote successful in dating is to pretend like you don't give a shit, is to pretend like you don't have any needs, is to pretend like you are completely indifferent to the way other people treat you. And that is just so beyond fucked up, I can't overstate it enough. So let me give you an example. The other day I was listening to this guy on YouTube. He's a very famous speaker and writer, and he's like a love coach and dating coach. And this woman calls into him and asks him a question. She says that she's having a problem with the guy that she's dating, and she feels kind of neglected, and the guy's been pulling back, and it's really upsetting her because she really likes him. And this idiot's advice to her was, you need to take a step back and act like you don't care. You need to focus on all of the other things in your life, because there is nothing sexier than seeming like you don't give a shit and like it doesn't matter whether the other person texts you, calls you, spends time with you. Like, no matter how they treat you, there's nothing sexier than acting like you don't care. And my God, have I never heard worse advice than that. The advice was not, go to the person that you've been seeing for a few months, communicate to him how you are feeling, tell him that you have X, Y, and Z needs and that you need to have those needs met, otherwise this isn't going to work out. That seems to me like the most obvious solution. But the reason we don't give people that advice is that we have lumped all sensitive, caring, loving, emotional people into this one group of people that we call needy, And I just hate that. I hate that stigma. I hate that title, because basically what it means is that if you're sensitive, if you're a lover, if you really value spending time with your partner, if you need frequent communication, if it means a lot to you to know what your partner is thinking, if you like to be close and connected, there's something wrong with you. Now there's a label for you, and it's needy. Now there's a problem with you, and it's clinginess. Needy is a term that we use to describe dogs. It's a term that we use to describe puppies in the kennel, okay? Human beings are not needy, they just have emotional needs. And let me tell you something else, Buster. The person who pretends that they don't have needs, the ones who are emotionally detached, the ones who say that, I just need to have my own space, I really value my alone time, and whether I'm with my partner or I'm by myself, it doesn't make any difference to me because I'm perfectly fine on my own. Those people have emotional needs too, okay? Those people are just incredibly good at keeping up this facade, at wearing this mask, at keeping themselves guarded and keeping other people at an arm's length so that they don't have to create a close and intimate connection. For example, I was recently dating a girl, and we were dating seriously. It wasn't like I had gone on 2 or 3 dates with her. And I called her while she was at work one day, and she didn't answer, and like maybe 5 or 6 hours went by, and I knew that at this point she was done with work. So I texted her and I said, hey, give me a call whenever you can. I tried to check in with you earlier. Hope you had a great day. And she doesn't answer. And then like 4 or 5 hours later, I called her and I said, like, is everything okay? I haven't heard from you in like now 10 hours. I'm just checking in. And she snaps at me. And she says, you know what? It's too much. It's too overwhelming. You call me too often. You text me too often. You always want to know what I'm up to. And she basically was saying that I'm needy. She was saying that I'm clingy. And at the time that this happened, I went home and I said to myself, God, I'm such a fuck up. I'm so needy. I'm so clingy. I'm like a little puppy dog. What's wrong with me that I'm not independent enough? And I apologized to her profusely. And then I tried to play this game of acting like I don't want to communicate. I tried to play this game of, I'll just let her reach out to me. I'm not going to reach out to her to try to appease her. And now that I have a little perspective, I step back and I look at that scenario and I think to myself, how fucked up is it that there is this person who is telling me that because I genuinely want to know how she's doing, how her day is going, what she's up to, because I genuinely want to create connection and closeness between us, there is something wrong with me. How fucked up is it that I went home and I blamed myself and I beat myself up for wanting to have communication with someone who is basically my girlfriend? That she said to me, I'm too needy, I'm too clingy, I call too much, I text too much, and I went home and I tried to change my behavior rather than looking at her and saying, this is kind of a red flag that this person needs to keep me at such a distance, right? That when I call to check in on her, when I don't hear from her for 10 hours and she's perfectly okay with that, she snaps at me and now I think that I'm too needy. Now I think that I'm the problematic one in this dynamic. And this is the point that I want to make. If you are that person who's a lover, who wants to have closeness and open communication, who's a little sensitive, who maybe gets a little bit anxious when someone doesn't text you back, it's okay. There is absolutely nothing wrong with you. All that indicates is that you happen to be a little bit more sensitive or a little bit more emotional than the average person, and you should not be stigmatized or blamed or shamed for that. It also means that you got to find a person who is capable of attachment, who is capable of interdependence, who's capable of fostering the type of close connection that you want, because you are never going to be a match with somebody who is emotionally detached, unfeeling, insensitive, cold, and cut off. That's not the right person for you, and I had to learn that the hard way. Now, I just want to make one other clear distinction so that I don't get blasted here. There is a very important difference between being codependent and being quote unquote needy, okay? Codependency is something that I've struggled with. It's maladaptive, it's dysfunctional, it's a psychological issue that needs treatment. Therapy, going to Al-Anon, going through a 12-step program, these are all things that can really help with severe codependency, okay? But if you're just quote unquote needy or clingy, which means, as I said, you like closeness, you like connection, you like a lot of communication, you like a lot of time spent with your partner, there is nothing wrong with you. Don't blame yourself. Don't try to change who you are. And by the way, for the ladies who are watching this, men are incredibly needy. Men are incredibly sensitive. Men get crushed so easily. They like to put on this facade like they don't need to talk to you and they're perfectly fine going the entire day not hearing from you. The second you start ignoring them, inside, they're freaking out. There is nothing wrong with being emotional and sensitive, and we gotta stop using the terms needy and clingy to describe those people, describe people like myself. I'm standing right here in front of you. I'm admitting this, and I have no shame. And I tell people right off the bat, if you can't handle somebody who is emotionally intelligent, intuitive, perceptive, self-aware, and is willing to give a lot, if you're not capable of reciprocating that, I'm not the match for you. Boom. Anyway, guys, thank you for listening. I hope you have an amazing day. Please like and comment and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts, reach out to me, and I'll see you on the next video.